And now we're joined by UFC welterweight Bryan Barberena, who has come off his victory against Darian Weeks at UFC Vegas 44 on December 5th. Bryan, it's been just over a week now since your victory. You know, it was against a short notice opponent. How do you reflect on that victory now, having had the week after to kind of reflect on it and assess it?
Well, I appreciate you having me on, first off. And, you know, looking back, originally, right after the fight, I was kind of disappointed, not so happy with myself, my performance. Didn't feel like, I did as good as I know I am. Happy to come out with a win. He came ready to fight, and he did good. And, he's a great guy. He's a super respectful guy. I follow him on social media now just because, he was a good guy. He's a great person inside and outside of the octagon. And he came to fight on short notice. Thanks to him for taking the fight. I felt like I did a little better than the last fight as far as starting faster, but I just felt like I didn't execute. And then after watching the fight, over again, it was, a little better than I thought. So, but still a lot to work on, a lot to improve as always.
And you say he was a little better than maybe what you expected. Did you have time to look at him ahead of the fight night, or kind of did you put that at the back of your mind? And because it was how short notice was this? I think you got it during fight week, so it was like mid-fight week. Was it Wednesday?
Yes, it was Wednesday. Yeah.
So how much kind of tape did you watch of him before the fight night?
I didn't really watch much of any tape. My team, watched him. I literally looked him up, took a glance at one little quick video, and I just literally watched maybe not even a round worth of the fight. So my team watched him and whatever. I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. I just had to go out there and fight my fight and put it on him. There were some things in the fight that maybe if I would have looked them up, my team said they saw a little bit more, watching film and stuff. And maybe if I would have watched them a little bit more, I would have been able to pick up on a little quicker. But, just kind of going off the top of it and trying to implement my game.
And how different was that for you in terms of experience fighting someone on 3 days' notice in that sense of not having the preparation for the opponent specifically?
I've picked up a short notice fight before. So I've fought, actually when I fought Sage Northcutt, I was on short notice. I took it on 8 days notice. I'm sure he looked me up and everything. Obviously, I had seen him fight a couple times before. So it was a little bit different, but it was fairly new to me as far as that goes, but I trained to fight, I trained to fight, and obviously if we have a opponent booked, we're changing some things in camp or whatever, but ultimately I'm working to improve my game the most through camp and just implement little things to add for the opponent. So it didn't really matter who it was. I was going to go in there, try to implement my game plan.
And I think it's well documented that you flew over to Vegas without having an opponent after Matt Brown had to withdraw. How worried were you about the possibility of you not having an opponent on fight night after all the weight cut, the preparation, and just the traveling as well? Like how worried were you about the possibility of that?
I'm not gonna lie. I was, the thing that worried me the most was just not being able to fight. Okay. I didn't care about who it was or when I found out, if it was the day of the fight or whatever. That didn't matter. But it was the fact that I might not be able to get in there, and after all the work and everything, I needed to fight. I've been out for a while too, so I was trying to connect some fights together and stuff. So, but honestly, my nerves were a little at ease too, because I had talked to the matchmaker, Sean Shelby, before I flew, and he said, we will get you somebody, you will fight Saturday. So with that said, I was confident and they were going to find me somebody. It didn't matter who. So, whoever they wanted to bring was going to be okay.
And at the weigh-ins, I saw that you were FaceTiming, I believe it was your family. What was kind of the purpose behind that? Was it because they weren't able to be there?
Yeah, absolutely. my family is the most important thing to me, and I try to implement them into everything I do, whether inside fighting, outside of fighting. They pick my walkout song. My daughter paints my nails. Normally they're able to be there. They're able to be there for weigh-ins. They're able to be there for fight week. They're able to be there for the fight. And just with COVID and the restrictions of the Apex arena and things like that. And also, we have a farm and stuff too. So it's, there's a lot of things that play into the fact that they're not able to be there. And so it's just one way for them to be there with me and keep them close during fight week.
How difficult is it, like, fighting post-pandemic? Because you're used to having your family there before. How difficult is it for you in terms of not having your family close, especially maybe after a fight compared to before a fight?
Yeah. It's pretty tough. Like, as far as, that's the only really thing that gets me the most, rather than, it's not the fans, I can fight without fans. I can do all that. That's fine. But yeah, having my family there is the biggest thing for me. And, it's been tough. Even training camps, I have to travel for camp and stuff, and being away, has been really hard. So, just trying to figure it out and do our best to be able to connect while we're away from each other, whether that be phone calls, FaceTimes. Thank goodness for social, technology these days. Now we have FaceTime and able to actually see each other when we talk and things like that. I play games with my kids over my phone and their tablets. We play games together, and just try to do a bunch of things to interact while I'm away, and even during fight week and everything like that. So like I said, they're always a part of everything I do.
And I have to ask, how much do you think that beard counts in terms of weight wise, and you have to take into consideration with a weight cut?
Well, it's pretty heavy. It's a lot of weight behind this beard to carry. I'd probably go down a weight class if I had to cut it down. But I don't know. I just I used to cut my beard after every single fight before I got in UFC. Actually, I shave my head like it is now, and shave my beard off and clean shaven, and then let it grow back for each fight camp. And then once I got in the UFC, I was like, yeah, I'm done doing that. My wife really likes the beard. My daughter hasn't seen me without a beard, so she freaks out every time I even try to trim it. So the beard's here to stay.
Is there any possibility that something might come up where you're like, you know what, I fancy a change?
Most likely not. I'd say the only thing is, if I ever was in trouble of making weight or anything like that, and there was a possibility of, like, if I just cut the beard, it was going to be enough, I'd do it. I'm never going to miss weight, and I'm never going to put myself in that situation where I'd have to cut my beard. But yeah, I mean, it'd go if I was gonna miss weight or something.
So instead of a towel, it would just be on the weigh-ins. You just shave it off.
It would have to be and a towel. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna cut it if I can, strip down and wear a towel to get on the weigh-ins. I mean, it'd have to be, I'm already to the point where they checked on the towel and the beard's got to go, kind of thing. I don't know. And even then, it'd be risky.
I heard that John Anik said that he arguably believes that you have the best beard in the UFC. Do you agree with that statement, or do you see someone else with a beard that you admire in the UFC as well?
I mean, there's definitely some other guys that have some nice beards in the UFC. I'll take the title of the best beard in the UFC. I mean, come on. That's not the first time someone from the UFC said that, so I like it. I take it. I definitely don't do so much that cleaned up, super, trim and lined up look. Mine's like, we're coming out of the woods, baby. We've been preparing for battle for quite some time, so that kind of beard.
We've got the BMF title, the baddest title. What about the baddest beard title? Do you think that's a possibility?
Hell yeah, let's do it. I like that. I never even thought about that. Let's do it. Baddest beard title. I like it.
I'm just looking at the welterweight division. It might become a bit stagnated soon, in a sense, with the top of the division. Colby Covington's just come off his title fight. You fought Vicente Luque and Leon Edwards, who may possibly be the two next options in terms of fighting for the title. Who do you believe would be maybe the biggest test for Usman?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think Luke's, he's improved a lot and he's been really active. So I think that's really helped a lot and improved his game, and just him being able to stay active has really improved his skills and stuff as well. So I'd give it to Luke. I think you know Leon, he's gotten better by training and everything, but I can tell by not being in there as much. Like, he fights very smart and mixes it up very well. Uh, but obviously in the later rounds or things like that, he seems to get caught or in moments, and that's just, I think maybe that's just from not being in there. I don't know. They're both gonna, they're both great fighters. So.
And obviously, there's another fighter who's bursted into the division recently, Hamzat Chimaev. What do you make of him? Do you believe that he'll capture UFC gold one day?
Yeah, he's really good. He's obviously the last guy he fought was tough 70-pounder. So he's been in there for a while and everything. He went in there and handed him an L pretty quickly. So he's definitely, seems like he's got the skills and everything. And I'm sure maybe one day he'll capture UFC gold. We'll see how fast that happens.
And for anyone who doesn't know, it's been a tough time up until recently for you. In 2020, you had a ruptured abdomen. And I believe that was like a near-death experience for you, and that was tough on you in terms of getting back to where you are now. But now that you've got that victory, what would you like 2022 to hold for you?
I'd like to just remain staying active. I'd like to take the holidays, enjoy it with my family. I was originally supposed to fight Matt Brown this last fight. I would love for that to come together again. In fact, they're going to Columbus, Ohio in March. I seen they just announced, man, I'll go find him in his backyard. Let's do it. Sign me up. He's from over there, and let's go. Let's rebook this fight and let's get it matched up. I'll go find him in his backyard. If not, I guess we'll see what happens, what the future holds. Like I said, I don't care about fighting who it is. Obviously, I would like the Matt Brown fight. There's some other fights I would like to, just because they come to fight and they're bangers. So some certain people, but yeah, man, I just want to stay active. I like 3-4 fights at least in the year, next year, and just stay active, stay healthy, and continue to improve and collecting W's.
And you said there's fighters that you would like to fight. Who exactly are, like, just in case Matt Brown isn't available, because I'm sure you're going to fight one day.
Yeah. Just people who bring it, people that I admire, their fighting style and everything, that I think would be fun fights, as well as like Robbie Lawler, Nico Price, those are a couple guys that, Ponzinibbio, another guy, they just bring it, they get in there and they come to fight, and they're gonna put it on you every time. So that's really excite me. And there's some matchups I'd love to have.
Yeah.
Especially like Robbie Lawler, Matt Brown before they're retired or anything like that. Those are guys I'd like to match up with and test myself against.
And does Nick Diaz interest you at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Nick Diaz is another one. Yeah, Nick, Nate. I mean, you can bring both of them. I don't care. They're guys that have been there for a long time. I actually just seen that Nate re-signed his deal as longer. Whether he thinks it's a good fight or a fight that's going to get him paid or whatever, I don't know. But I could definitely bring it and put it on him for him. So
I did see you had some kind of strong words for Nate in a post-fight press conference. Do you feel like you have the right to be picky over fights?
I mean, for sure, he's earned the right to be able to pick and everything like that. And I understand when you're to a certain point, but I mean, how many fights is this? His last whatever fights are, I think he lost them and whatever. So, I mean, yeah, I get he's a draw and everything too, but at the same time, it's like, okay, man, like you got your shots. Like, now it's time to kind of step down a little bit and pick forever. I just, it was not really strong words. Like, I respect him. He's done a lot for the game and it's been in for a long time. But yeah, for me, I'm in this fight game to test myself and test myself against everybody. So it doesn't matter who they offer me, I'm going to fight them. And because I got to go in there and show that I can beat him.
Yeah.
I don't just gonna talk about beating him. I want to beat him.
Yeah. And just looking at 2022, you said you'd like to be active, but I'm sure you also do want to fight maybe on like a pay-per-view card, or maybe even a Columbus fight card, just so your family could be in attendance for one of your fights. I'm sure that is a goal for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't get to pick what cards I'm on or anything. Obviously I'm throwing the Columbus card out there just because it is Matt Brown's like town or hometown or whatever where he's at. So, I'd love to make that fight happen and be there. And it is an open card. So my family would be able to be in attendance. It's not too far from us as well. So yeah, definitely. I would love to be on a card. And you know what? It doesn't really matter where I'm at on the fight cards either too. The earlier, the sooner I get to eat, whatever, sooner I get to be with my family. So, I just love to get in there, fight, and then, get back to being with my family.
And in terms of your future in the UFC, what would you say like your goal is in the short term and maybe in the long term?
Yeah, obviously, the goal is to continue to win fights. That's what's going to advance me to where I want to be and to what I want to do, the money I want to make, and, so on and so forth, to help me get the fights I want to get with the people I want to fight. So just win fights. That's the main thing. And that's short term, long term. That's just going to fix everything. Is that if I continue to win, continue to put these wins together, go on a win streak, everything's going to come together. And, if I can continue to do that, then I can get to the title shot. And that would be the ultimate goal.
I'm sure everyone's excited for your next fight. You always bring the energy to your fights, and, all the best for the Christmas period. I'm sure you'll have a fight in the new year and we can see you then. Thank you very much for your time, and have a good Christmas period with your family.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on. It's great talking with you, and have a great Christmas as well.